Heads up, guys. Why did you do it?
We love you. We love you. We love you. I love you. Love you. Love you, girl. We love you. We love you forever.
Now, no one ever says it out loud, which is kind of weird because it's impossible not to notice that a lot of major news organizations, NBC News, all of a sudden sound like Hutu radio.
Innocent men, women, children, hung by a noose from trees, bodies burned, drowned, castrated, lynched for simply being black. Nothing more. Hard to believe, but that's what was done. And some people still want to do that.
Openly advocating race hate. It's particularly true on MSNBC, as we've noted, and we're going to do it again now. Watch.
We see American white people are going crazy. They're resorting to violence.
This is literally what conservative white folks do when they don't get their way. They turn violent.
I don't think it's our responsibility to be tasked with destroying and dismantling the racial oppression that's against us. That's just saying we're more at fault than the white people who constructed this system and the white people who continue to practice institutional racism.
This country was built on the idea that white men had a particular kind of freedom and a particular kind of citizenship that only they have. That gives, from the slave catchers on, the right to inflict violence in the name of protecting property.
So, bottom line, and we used to know this, you can't attack people, whole groups of people, on the basis of their race and ethnicity.
This is just a committee that would further embolden anti-Asian rhetoric and hate and put lives at risk.
This committee should not be used as an open invitation to traffic in blatant xenophobic anti-China rhetoric.
It is to create a platform to unleash anti-Asian hate and division.
Not in the media, especially because of its reach. That's completely irresponsible and immoral, and ultimately it can have very bad effects.
That's why I got to fight this crap. Regardless of how you feel about me. Regardless of how anybody in this damn world feels about me. I'm going to fight this goddamn white man. Whether you like it or not. I believe in the death and destruction of white people. Each and every one of them. Don't give a damn if the little bastard just came out of his mama's womb 3 seconds ago. Kill them all. Every last one of them. Don't spare the babies.
In July of 1993, radio broadcasts in Kigali, Rwanda, openly attacked and demonized a tribe called the Tutsis on ethnic grounds, just like MSNBC. Less than a year later, Tutsis were dragged from their homes and hacked to death with machetes. It was the most horrifying genocide of our age.
Lloyd Austin, the first African-American defense secretary.
Would you be in this job without that order?
Probably not. Probably not.
In the 2 years he's been in the job, Austin has more than doubled the number of black 3- and 4-star generals and admirals, from 10 to 22.
That's a dramatic change. Mm-hmm. Did you select these generals because they were the best person for the job?
Immaculée Iragaza lived through that. She was a Tutsi. Killers came to her house, dragged off her family, murdered them. She hid in a bathroom for months. An amazing story. And she emerged without bitterness. We're going to show you part of the conversation we had with her, which is an amazing conversation, about the moment that soldiers turned up to murder her. Watch this.
I remember I was stretching and I saw them through the tiny window of the bathroom. And I didn't know they were coming, so they came very quiet. So they were dressed all in banana leaves. You know, they had all kind of arms, grenades. They had guns, long spears. They came quiet and they started to scream. And this is the first time they did, which they did 8 times.
They started to scream?
Yeah, they started to scream when they got in the courtyard of the house. Because they will come quiet so that no one will run away from the house. So then when they came inside quiet and they will scream so that people can run out. So that's what they did. But I saw them when they were coming in through the tiny window of the bathroom. And I saw that and I fell over the ladies and they started to scream and I knew my life was over. I never felt pain in my life as I did that time. So in that moment, I truly thought, I mean, this is maybe 1,000 people, that's what I thought. There's no way they're going to miss out the door of the bathroom we're in. This was a 4-bedroom house. It's not like a big house. So my life was over. I remember thinking, how am I going to die? How does it happen? And the worst thing was again, why? Why?
Yeah.
Why would another human being want to put another person to suffer? What do they get out of this? Why would another person? How can I convince them I'm innocent? How can I convince them that actually I love them? But they won't hear. They have decided I'm bad. They have just decided I'm an enemy. They have to eliminate. And do they know the pain I'm going through? In that moment, especially when they came to search, I remember feeling like 8,000 needles are going through my body. Like I'm in fire, burning, but I'm not dying fully. And I wish to die and to end with this torture. And then somehow, as they were inside searching, I truly thought, how is my soul going to come out? Am I going to see Jesus? Am I going to see Mary? You know, as I hear in my church, am I going to meet my parents? Is any one of them died or not? And I remember asking God, if you can hear me, don't let the killers open the door today. Just today.
The most striking part of that conversation, which you really should watch, is her descriptions, Immaculée Ilibagiza, of what Rwanda was like before the media started singling out an entire group on the basis of its ethnicity. It was a really nice country with lots of social trust, very little crime, happy people. But when the media started whipping up race hate, it fell apart.
All white people are racist. So I put this up because I really want any white person in the room to know up front that this is what we're dealing with, that it's not going to be this coddling of white tears and what that looks like. We're not going to discuss, oh, maybe some of us have worked it out. No, you're always going to be racist, actually. So even when you're on your path to trying to figure out how to be a better human being, because I believe that white people are born into not being human, like that actually instead of people of color and black folks being dehumanized, that actually everyone is dehumanized off rip within white supremacy, that y'all are born into a life to not be human, and that's what y'all are taught to do, to be demons. So in this particular way, white people are all racist. So I just want y'all to know that up front.
Worth paying attention to that. That whole thing is on Fox Nation. Absolutely worth seeing. So, obviously, the plan is to get rid of cash because it's easier and cash is for criminals and mandate digital currency. Now, if you think about it for a second, you don't want to hand total control of all your money to people who don't like you, so that's not a good idea. But it's happening anyway. And it's happening because ATMs are disappearing. Oh, okay. No one voted on this, but it's happening anyway. And we've got details now.
Whole hearing about a 24-hour hiccup in a right-wing political operation. That is why we are here right now. And it's just an abuse of public resources, an abuse of public time. We could be talking about healthcare. We could be talking about bringing down the cost of prescription drugs. We could be talking about abortion rights, civil rights, voting rights. But instead, we're talking about Hunter Biden's
or $100 billion to Ukraine.
Story. I mean, this is an embarrassment.
The babies. Huh? To hell with what National Geographic putting out. I'm telling you to your face here tonight, we gonna have to kill some little Penelopes and some little Robbies. You wanna be free, don't you?
Context of, like, I like to think about a lot of things in the context of a Venn diagram. I love Venn diagrams. Always ask, is there a Venn diagram for this? I'm telling you, it's fascinating when you do. So, Venn diagram, those 3 circles, right? And if you want to add some more circles to the Venn diagram, the solutions also look like what we need to do to invest in a clean energy economy. And what we are also seeing is that if you look at, I like Venn diagrams, okay? So if you look, I do. So let me tell you, I love Venn diagrams. I love Venn diagrams. You know the 3 circles? I love Venn diagrams. You're just cracking up, right? Among the many things that I like, I love Venn diagrams. The 3 circles. I love Venn diagrams. I just throw it into a Venn diagram. I'll tell you everything you need to know about it. Any issues. I love Venn diagrams. I really just love Venn diagrams. I love Venn diagrams. Okay. I really do. I love Venn diagrams. The 3 circles, sometimes there are more.
So today, as you all saw just an hour or so ago, President Obama announced that, President Biden. Whoa! That is news.
All right, now I'm gonna do a quick little cheers that I normally do. I know there's little babies here, but close your ears. This is just a tradition that all shows normally do. So raise your glasses. Cheers to you. Cheers to me. Cheers to the ones that lick us where we pee. Yeah!
Around the world. Drag Queen Christmas. Now, Drag Queen Christmas has been going on for 8 years. DeSantis, we checked, has complained other years, but he's complaining that, young children were there and all ages were welcome. We've got a picture from the complaint.
Excited. Hello, you reaching for my titties? Are you hungry? Say, mommy.
Just to, give everyone a sense of it. It's pretty blurry. You can't totally see, but it's 9 o'clock. And so we thought it was, at least people get a sense of it. Now, Mondaire, is this a winning issue to do this and say, look, this is a problem that 6-year-olds were there?
Trust me, the milk's gone bad. You don't want this milk. I know. I've been on tour. We've been on the tour bus. I've been unrefrigerated. Thank you so much for this donation.
He's going to have to explain why he's attacking young LGBTQ people who already experience thoughts of suicide at multiple times the rate as their cisgender heterosexual counterparts. He's included in that attack is this now attack on Story Hour, Drag Queen Story Hour. These are issues that I thought we had resolved as a nation. Whether we will teach Black history, whether we will acknowledge the mere existence of LGBTQ plus people, and he's going to have real difficulty with white suburban voters who I think the Republican Party is going to need to court aggressively in the general election.
Well, one question, Van, let me put this to you. Drag Queen Story Hour, it doesn't happen a lot. This is not a big thing, okay? But to the extent that it is something that comes up, there are a lot of parents who may not be Republican or right-wing Republican or whoever who might be uncomfortable with that. Is it a smart issue to pick it? In other words, so that you as a Democrat aren't put in the position of defending why 6-year-olds should be allowed to go to drag queens?
It's cynical, and it's a kind of cynical thing that a bully does.
To make Washington work for us, not them.
It speaks poorly to his character. I don't think that the biggest threat to American children is some drag queen thing.
I know there's little babies here, but close your ears. This is just a tradition that all shows normally do. So raise your glasses. Cheers to you. Cheers to me. Cheers to the ones that lick us where we pee.
The number of Black 3- and 4-star generals and admirals from 10 to 22. That's a dramatic change. Did you select these generals because they were the best person for the job? Or did you select them because they are African American?